Are you ready? Go!
All right, yo, welcome back to Retro ReWire. My name is JJ. We're back for another In the Hunt. Now, if you saw the previous episode, you would know that we are in Narita, Japan, and we're going to continue here. And we're going to start things off with, that's right, the display case. And this thing is freaking loaded. They actually had a bunch of Castlevania. I don't know, the whole thing just made me nervous, made me want to spend that money, but got to keep the collection curated. But anyhow, we're going to take a closer look at what they have to offer. Now, never mind this Dracula X Chronicles, looks cool, but in the back, Project Justice for the Sega Dreamcast, $660. And then we have Castlevania Chronicle for $55, Shinryu, Rondo of Blood, and of course, Guardian Force, and then some little train game for the Wii. But behind that, there's a couple of Saturn games that I wasn't able to get a good view of. But I did get a good view of these loose carts. A lot of interesting stuff for the Famicom. We have Double Dragon, and next to that, we have some Capcom game that looks pretty interesting. Maybe it's that haunted, I forget the name of it. But anyhow, we have a couple of Kid Draculas, this Juju Business for $88, and Salamander for $49. And then a couple copies of Castlevania 3, and then this Chibi Splatterhouse. Pretty cool stuff there. And then $38.50 for that Thunder Force. Behind that, $165 for some Sunsoft game, and it looks, I don't know, looks kind of interesting. Bare Knuckle 3, $330. That's freaking premium. Next to Darius 2. And then we have a couple of Neo Geo Samurai Spirit games. And then we have this funky game, $165. It has a hole in it, and it's by Konami. I'm not sure what system that's for, maybe the MSX, but pretty interesting looking. And then we have Gunstar Heroes for $44 and Golden Axe 3 for $60, and of course Outrunners for $55. Now let's go ahead and head down below, and clear in the back we have the trilogy of the Mother games for $110, and then we have this Game Boy Micro for a $143, and then as you can see, just a variety of Game Boy Advances and a couple of Game Boys. That yellow one in the back looks freaking mean, and it's only $55. That's not too bad. But anyhow, let's go ahead and take a closer look at these Famicom games. We have $55 for Contra 3, Live Alive for $44, not sure what that is, Clock Tower, sorry, for $55, Captain Commando for $77, Dracula X for $55. Next to this, now I'm not sure what this is, $220. That's a heavy hitter there. And then a couple copies of Mega Man X2, freaking awesome game. And then another heavy hitter, Pocky and Rocky for $90 more or less, next to the Fireman. And then look at here, Contra 3, $22. What's the difference between the one here and up above? Not sure. But Rockman 7, Turtles in Time, and then we have Sin and Punishment there for the Nintendo 64, and then these games, not sure what they are. But look at this, $660 for Wild Guns. Never mind Super Aleste, Macross, Castlevania 4. This is the showstopper here, $660 for that Wild Guns. That is crazy. Anyhow, let's go to the second display case now. This one, fully loaded with an assortment of handheld systems, you know, Nintendo Switch Lites, the PSPs. Anyhow, let's have a closer look. Look at all these PSPs. That one in the back, that brown one, never seen that before, and it looks kind of cool. But my favorite, and one that I've been wanting for years, is this blue one, and it looks freaking awesome next to the red. I want them all, but I have enough PSPs. So anyway, but PlayStation Vita, $88 there, $99, not too bad, I guess. And then we have a couple controllers, and then PS2 with the LCD screen, $220 next to a Pocket Station. Now, I've never used the Pocket Station, but I have a few games that support it, so it might be interesting to pick one up now, sometime in the future. And then just an assortment of PS4 stuff, and then of course the Nintendo Switch Lite. Now this system, I mean, I love the Switch, but I definitely like having it docked or handheld. I like having that freedom, so I probably wouldn't buy a Switch Lite. But look at all these amiibos. Now, I recently brought back my amiibo collection from the States, so pretty happy to have those and have them back on display. And I definitely want to get one of these Bowsers. They look pretty cool. And then just a variety of Switch games here. Nothing really that stands out to me. But let's go ahead and keep it moving here. We got a few Switch consoles, and then down below we have a few Nintendo 3DS systems. Freaking legendary system, love it. And then of course quite a few Famicom minis and a couple Super Famicom minis. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at the PS4 games. Now I'm just gonna comb over this section, not really gonna go into great detail because you know, this is a big system, still is big nowadays. But I guess we'll take a quick peek, and I'm just gonna show something super common, Biohazard RE2 for 44 bucks. That's a bit pricey. But down below we have a couple limited editions. Now these, I myself am not interested in these, but definitely appreciate that they're there, kind of interesting looking, at least to look at. And then PlayStation 3, freaking love this system. Now this is another system that I'm just gonna gloss over, but as you can see, they have JoJo's All-Star Battle for $5. And then of course, Knight's Contract. I recently picked this up, the North American version, so I'm looking forward to playing that. Anyhow, PlayStation 2 and the PSP. We're gonna start with the PS2. Now definitely feel free to pause if you want a closer look at a few of these spines and to get an idea of what they have in stock. But look at this, the King of Fighters 2002 for $8. Now Ultimate Dream Match, that version is like $80, so kind of interesting that they had that. And then they have Hard Luck. Never heard of this. It's an action game, and it features Scott Winkler. Come on, this may be pretty good. I don't know. Never seen that before. But then we have Bloody Roar 3. Never played this fighting series, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I don't know, I might have to track down a copy for the PlayStation 1 sometime and give it a go. Might be good, I don't know. But it's a Hudson game. They make some pretty good stuff. And then we have Baroque for $5.50. This is the remake, originally on Saturn and PS1. And this is also available for the Nintendo Wii, which is what I owned way back in the day. It's like a roguelike RPG. And then we have this by Square Enix. Now this could potentially be a good time, but I don't think it was released outside of Japan, so there you go. Anyhow, let's take a look at the PSP games. Now, I gotta say they had quite a bit of good stuff here. Capcom Classics Collection, you know, it says it in the name, this is a classic. Now, I have a digital copy of this, but definitely love the cover there for the Japanese version. And then we have Ultimate Makaimura. Now, I actually did pick up a copy of this, but I got the Kai version, which includes a classic mode, and it kind of does away with all like the RPG elements, the way that it really should be. And then we have, of course, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and then a few North American games. Now, I'm not really surprised, you know, it's Narita, but anyhow, we have Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops for about $11. Brother in Arms, this Star Wars Lego game, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, as well as Vice City Stories and Virtua Tennis. And then here's the Japanese version. Both those are like $5.50. Anyhow, let's go ahead and go to the next section. Now this is all like the Sega and a few other consoles. Look at this. Now this is Minal Baton Saga, probably butchering that name, but it's a Taito game, and I believe this is for the Famicom. But that cover is pretty sick, love it. But as you can see, yeah, RPG, but definitely a cool cover. And then we have here foreshadowing Namco Bandai. If only they knew back then what we know now. Now this is Macross, pretty cool little pink box. I think that one would make a nice little display. And then we have Megami Tensei, published by Namco. I always thought it was an Atlas game. Now this is going for $30, and I should have picked this up. Anyhow, let's go ahead and make our way to the Sega Saturn. Freaking love this system, and as you can see, a lot of common stuff, but a lot of good common stuff, like this KOF 95, $22. I think that's a little bit overpriced, but the box was clean. And then we have Samurai Spirits RPG for $22. And then, of course, Samurai Spirits 3, which is my favorite flavor in that series. And then, of course, we have Magic Knight, Ray Earth. We have SimCity 2000 and a few other role-playing games there. A little bit of everything for everyone. And we're going to make our way here into the Sega Dreamcast games. Now, this one is definitely a lot smaller, but we're going to take a look at Shenmue 2. Now, this copy is sun-faded, and it's $27.50. Now, next game here is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for $16.50, which the North American version is super expensive. And then we have this big box Shenmue 2 for $16.50. It's less expensive. What's the deal? Maybe because it has some damage or something. But anyhow, we have a PC Engine, Mega CD, 3DO. Let's take a look at Sega CD. We have 3x3 eyes. Now, I think this is also for the PS1, 3DO, and Saturn. And then we have Night Trap, the controversial game, which just seems kind of silly to me, but I definitely wanted to show it just because the Japanese cover is kind of funky. Anyhow, these are the PS1 games. Not going to go into too much detail here, but I did want to show this. Gunner's Heaven, which is kind of like a Gunstar Heroes clone. Definitely want to pick this up sometime in the future, but I think it's also available on the Japanese PlayStation Network store. But just going to kind of pass over some of these games real quick. Definitely feel free to pause if you want to take a closer look at what they have to offer here in the Narita Hard Off. Anyhow, let's go ahead and make our way to, boom, the consoles. Man, this was one of the most impressive, I guess, this showcase of consoles. They had something for everyone in the family, Famicom, Super Famicom, the Twin Famicom, the GameCube, 64, but not just like your common Nintendo stuff. They had PC Engine Duo, Dreamcast, even like a Mark III Sega Master System there, and an MSX, Neo Geo CD, 3DO, Neo Geo AES, some other systems that I have no clue what they are, but anyhow, don't worry, we're going to take a closer look at all this console goodness. I mean, look at this. I mean, where to begin? Where to begin? We're going to start right here, actually. Let's go ahead and have a closer look at these PS3s. We got these. They're kind of similar, but if you look at the color, one is like more brilliant white, the other one's like an off cream white. So I wonder if that's sun fading or what the deal is. But then we have a couple of PlayStations, a 9000 model and a 7000 model. Super Famicoms. Look at all these Super Famicoms. It's all about that tan sun faded one for $55. That's kind of steep for that condition. But anyhow, we have these twin Famicoms, and the price on those is not actually that's not bad. But look at this. Now this is a showpiece. This is the first time I've seen something like this. $198 more or less, and it has like a little marble texturing, this orange colored business. Now I definitely would like to have something like this in my game room, but $198, I just wasn't ready for it. Didn't expect this, but that thing looked mean. Definitely looked freaking awesome. And then above that, we have some GameCubes. One includes the Game Boy Player, but I'm not sure if it has the disc. If it does have the disc, that's definitely worth it. And then look at this, PC Engines. Those command a higher price nowadays. These things are always going to be in vogue. $297 for the Duo, and this thing looks clean. Man, one of these days I'm gonna buy a Duo. I used to have one way back in the day, but like a fool, I traded it. Anyhow, we have a couple 3DOs. We have a FZ10 and an FZ1. Now, the FZ1 is a little bit notorious for hardware failure, but 3DO, I don't know too much about that system. I mean, other than what most people my age would know. But then we have this Neo Geo CD for $143. And that's just the console there. I believe it includes a few things, but or it could just be the console. And then we have this MSX, this Hitbit by Sony for $198. And that thing is pretty clean considering its age. And then we have, of course, the legendary Mega Drive. But anyhow, let's take a look down below. We got a boxed Neo Geo CD next to a boxed Neo Geo AES. $330 more or less for the CD, $440 for the AES. But never mind those two heavy hitters. Let's take a look at this beast. I've never seen this in this condition at a hard off. I've seen it in Tokyo, but at a hard off, look at this. A PC Engine CD-ROM 2 system. Now this thing, man, this thing was really tempting, but again, I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. $297. And next to that, we have $110 for the Sega, the Mega Drive. And that box is actually pretty clean. Not sure what that is for $198. It's like some epic cassette vision next to an awesome freaking Saturn, 64, Super Scope 6, and then Famicoms and Super Famicoms. And then look at this. The Power Glove, 440. Like I said, they have something for everybody in the family here at this hard off. But I don't know, it's just very impressive. I definitely had a fun time filming here and showing off all the hardware. But anyhow, let me go ahead and show you a sneak peek. That's right. I was in the US, and I went to a couple game shops, and this is just like a sneak preview. Definitely going to show you what the US has to offer, and this store was freaking amazing. But anyhow, that's going to do it for this episode. My name is JJ. Thank you for watching Retro ReWire, and I hope to see you all soon. Ciao.